Well, magandang pagdating, brothers and sisters, and magandang umagi, or magandang hapon, or perhaps magandang gabi, depending on what time of day you're watching this. Welcome to Mission Zero. If this is your first time here, my name is Shawn, and this is The Word with Friends, the show where we take a deep dive into language and communications in order to bring us all closer together. Now, we're gonna do something a little bit different today because it's rainy outside, and I kind of wanted to do something a little less language focused. Odd for this show, but it's what we're gonna do. And the thing that I would like us to talk about today is balance. Well, I hope that you had a fantastic Christmas if you celebrate Christmas. I do, and yesterday I did absolutely nothing, no work of any kind. I took no thought. We watched movies and I ate a whole bunch. The thing that leads into is this idea of the fight that we have to balance the things in our lives. We have an innate desire to find the easy mode, find the thing that we can put on lock and then just coast. But there is no such thing in life. See, because there is no coast in our lives. There's no easy mode. There's no check, that's done and I don't have to think about that one ever again. That just doesn't happen, right? We've got to be cognizant of keeping that balance, keeping things in check, right? It can't just be, I take my weekends off and I work 5 days a week. That's beautiful until you get to the place that those 5 days were really, really stressful and you need another 1 or 2 off. Or the project that's huge that you are going to be thinking about all weekend anyway, and so maybe you should take one of those weekend days and work, right? There is a balance of things that requires a constant evaluation, and that balance often is the cause for anxiety. I talk about this a little bit in the Vlogmas recap, but I'm gonna put it here because it's really, really important, and if you hear it twice, just take this as being doubly important. In Matthew 6, Jesus says, take no thought for what you should eat or what you should drink or what you should wear. Now, plenty of sermons have been preached on that, and in fact, whole denominations in history have been formed in Christianity over this idea of not putting any value or any thought into what you look like. Okay, fine, but that's a stupid and simple translation error that's easily caught. If you look to the Greek, the words take no thought is a Greek word that means to be anxious. He's not saying don't think about it. You have to think about it or you're gonna end up with a different sock and a different sandal on each foot with shorts in 12-degree weather, and that just isn't smart. You've got to think about what you're doing and where you're going. What he's saying is don't stress about it. He goes on later to say, don't worry about tomorrow because sufficient are the evils of today. The evils is not evils, it's stresses, right? They didn't have the word back then, but it's the strains, it's the struggles of life are sufficient for today that you don't have to worry about tomorrow's struggles. And again, it's not don't think about it, right? You've got to think some about tomorrow or rent doesn't get paid, but it's don't stress about it. This whole chapter is Jesus saying, hey, relax. It's not that serious. You've got it. You're doing okay. You're doing the right thing. Don't push into anxiety and darkness and depression because those things have very thin tentacles that can wrap around you and strangle you and pull you down like that. Don't let that happen. And that's so important for us to keep that balance. How do we know when it's okay to think about something versus crossing into being anxious about it? That's what I want to give us a tool for today. When you feel those tendrils of doubt and anxiety and depression, when you hear that voice telling you that you're not enough or you've not thought about this enough, and you start to fall, What you need is something to counterbalance you, right? You need something to bring you back into equilibrium. Jesus gives us two tools to combat these things. The first, he says, well, the birds of the air have nests and they have food. Aren't you worth more than a bird? And if you can really take that in, of course, the answer is yes, we are worth more than birds. Not to devalue birds, but the value of a human being, the value of a human mind and heart is so far above anything as trite as a bird. There's a million birds. There's one you. And that you is beautiful and unique and amazing. And you have a voice that the rest of us are crying out to hear. You are worthy. You are valuable. But Jesus knows, like I know, when you start to slip into that depression, the answer is no, I'm not worth more than a bird. I'm worth less. For this, he gave us a second tool. Our Father in heaven loves us, and he knows all that we need. Seek first the kingdom and his righteousness. That's gotten a lot of interpretations through the millennia, but what Jesus meant was focus on being a citizen of the kingdom. If you start to slip into depression and feel worthless and feel down and feel awful and anxious about your life, go serve someone. Doesn't have to be go to Africa, doesn't have to be go to a soup kitchen. It could be go to the local grocery store and speak life into that cashier that looks bummed. Even if you feel like it's fake, even if you aren't in a good place, brightening someone else's day will resurrect a new heart in you, even if yours feels dead and cold. These are the two tools that Jesus gives us, and they are amazingly powerful. Remind yourself that you are valuable. And if you get to a place where that question isn't weighted properly, no, I'm worth less than air, then you have the other heavy hitter, the thing that comes in and slams away all other depression and anxiety and feelings of worthlessness and stress. Serving other people. I can tell you in my own life, the thing that lifts me up more than anything I've ever found is making these videos. Now, I'm not transforming anybody's lives, but I'm speaking life into you, and that resurrects life in me. And that is exactly what Jesus is talking about here in Matthew 6. This is my exhortation for us today. And maybe I'm just talking to me here, but I think there's wider application. Maintain that balance in your life. Keep an eye on it. When you feel something start to drift out, question, did something just get lighter or did something just get heavier? And then what's the thing that can counterbalance that? That balance is where gladness is found. Back to last week, right? Without question, this is where gladness is found. But more importantly than that, that balance is where we grow. This is finding the right temperament, the right chemical structure for our soil to allow us to spring up. And that's so important. And so I hope that that has meaning for you. I hope that that has value for you today. And may God pour out the blessings of worthiness and love and connectedness and balance in all of us, all the days of our lives. And I love you so much. Peace out.